Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, ImperialDane, the one, the only master propaganda hero of Psych Defender over the fatherland of it to a 1v1 own. Milroad North is the ImperialDane himself, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Here with the 23rd Panzerdivision, with German infantry, with 250-1 half-tracks, veteran squad leaders, Stormtroopers, assault and hold, and fragmentation bombs in the south. It is Loovus. Fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union, Commander Stalin. Here with the 20th Tank Corps, with Guard Rifle Offensive and the ever classic Guard Motor. 8 double conscripts versus MD42 Grenadier start here, and we're off. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters. Without them and their support, the Propagandacast would not be possible. So big thanks to every single one of those. And they continue to support. Other people enjoy my Patreon, or they can donate via PayPal. Links are in the video description. And if you think about pre-ordering Communist Fin and haven't done so already, you can do so by the link in the comments. Use the code Coh2, in which case I get a part of the sale that way. So that's a sort of win-win there. And I'll let you know, comment, like, share, subscribe, feed the YouTube algorithm. So, off to the races here with German infantry, one of my personal favourite commanders. I do quite enjoy the aggressive mechanized playstyle it opens up for. Sandbags in the east, machine move towards the center here, constantly been caught there, likely. Going to southwards here, focusing more centre-south for now here. And there go, conscripts rapidly retreating in the face of the MD42. Going to take some losses as immediately Yug in there drops dead. Machine in there is going to try and move into the north here and flank them. Obviously, there's a chance of getting flanked in return, but I'm hoping to get a bit lucky, which is always something you should be very careful about, in particular with an MD42. But there you go. It does pay off here, and the conscripts immediately retreat. So in this case, does pan out. Of course, I will need troop position immediately, anticipating a push from here. So grabbing the point here, southern east point being grabbed here. Second Grenadier squad almost done. Up north here we got Loovus moving forwards, and he has gone for, surprise, Guard Motor with T-3035s, heavy mortars, Guards, Rough Infantry, vehicle repair training, and Mark vehicles. Standard stuff there. MU42 in the centre. In the south, Grenadiers moving forwards. Pioneer also moving in there. Up north, they're going to try and grab some points here close to my base as well, without encountering too many communists. Second unit squad there, standard triple conscript near build with a guard squad, maybe a heavy mortar, and then to T7, T, and of course T-3045s most likely. Third Grenadier squad for me, also fairly standard here. So I won't be going for full Grenadiers, instead I'll be taking it fast. I'll be relying more on Stormtroopers and Panzer Grenadiers. For additional infantry, going for a 5-squad build if possible. South here, Pioneers been caught by the conscripts. Third Grenadier squad there, ready for me and for your Deutschland. Up north, you got the Grenadiers for the conscripts up here. Machine gun trying to turn around a bit to assist, but obviously I'm concerned if I do that, I might get attacked for here. Of course, I may also want to assist in the south for more troops being poured in against me. There you go, turning around north, it doesn't matter now, so I have to turn around south. In the south, here, Grenadiers, Pioneers clashing with a lot of Loovus infantry. Ripping through the front of X there. And tech there on the way for me. They have to retreat the troops to the true low on health. Machine moving in from the north here. And he's pushing away some of the troops up north, being joined in with another Grenadier squad here. And there go, conscripts flanked again. Active handling of the MD42 fund is always crucial as a Wehrmacht player. Play too passive with it, and you can't find yourself being punished. Of course, reckless, you also get punished, but you want to be active with it. Flamethrower team flanking the MD42. Good play there by Loovus. Good use of the train there. Meanwhile, I'm going straight for the fuel point there. Basically going to try and mess with this fuel economy, try and gain an advantage there as much as possible. The more you can slow down the Soviet economy, the better. Tech on the way there for me. Grenadiers routed. Flamethrower team just absolutely beats the stuffing out of them. Mr. Rodlon helps, so the flamethrower is very effective. Going to rush out 250 half-tech. Mines here from Loovus. Got the fuel point rendered neutral. 251 half-tech slowly arriving here for the 23rd Panzerdivision. Pioneer there reinforcing, Grenadiers reinforcing, 250 half-track halfway done. On the west side of it, Grenadiers conscripts not really moving about. He's trying to, force retreat faster by threatening a wipe if I stick around for too long. And obviously, I have no real intention of getting a wipe. Plus, I've earned the point neutral. I don't have any expectations of actually grabbing that point. So rather than, waste manpower, I just retreat. There's the sort of snap decisions that can be very helpful to make. Machine sling up here. Mines ready, since Loovus will, of course, be laying down mines. Most Soviet players, of course, if they're solid, will do exactly that. So, mine troopers here, spotting the mine. 250 half together, the Leichter Schützen Panzerwagen. Usually meant for a reconnaissance regiments. Armoured Panzer Grenadiers or Aufklärer. Fun fact there, typically there'd be 2 half-tracks for each squad of Panzer Grenadiers actually there. With each half then riding in another half-track, so little fun side note there. More firepower that way as well, since they're 2 half-tracks, but you know, not so many half-tracks to go around there for, I think, beyond, just a company. And he's reinforcing, and good to go. Machine catching the counters here. So far, I'm just going aggressively at the opponent. I tend to be a more aggressive Wehrmacht player personally, partly because I enjoy that, but also because just for the Wehrmacht, particularly in companies too, if you try to drag out a fight too much, you're typically going to get your nose punched in. In particular, versus the Soviets, I find trying to drag out a match typically results in a net loss. Tank will be taken out for Loovus. That'll be a T-7 like to be rushed out here, or an anti-aircraft half-track. Currently, I'm just going in very aggressively, disrupting, again trying to slow down his economy, his ability to go for any sort of light armor against me or light vehicles. Admittedly, I'm playing a bit of a higher risk game here. Actually, not even going for Panzer Grenadiers with Panzer Strikes right away, which is what I typically do. I'm feeling a bit more bold. Oh, actually, I'd go for the Panzer, but I won't be upgrading with the Panzer Strikes. I'm feeling a bit more ballsy there. I'm keeping the missions open just in case, but I won't necessarily be going for it right away. I'm going to focus more on prioritizing just hitting Loovus and his infantry and just keeping the fuel out of his hand as much as possible. It's also having the secondary advantage here that he's not going to be focusing much on my fuel point because he's got all of his eyes on his fuel point. After rushing in here, I'm going to make a mistake here, which is I'm going to try and set up too late, by the way. Big mistake here by me. It does take a while there before it kicks in with the ability there. And so it ends up taking a lot of damage when it could also take little damage. And so I end up throwing with a half-track. Thumbs down to me there, poor handling. But again, I do like my aggressive mechanized infantry tactics. And I really like the look of the 250 half-track. It looks really cool. Adding in some Stormtroopers there, I'm going up to 5 squads. I got the Stormtroopers, I got the Panzer Grenadier. So on top of the 3 Grenadier squads there, I got some fairly hefty assault troops here. Particularly the Storms with MP40s can do a lot of damage if you wield them correctly. If not so much, they're going to get wiped, but well-handled Stormtroopers are probably one of the most dangerous infantry squads in the game, period, because those MP40s have some insane DPS. They are roughly the same DPS as Commandos, except of course they're only 4-man versus the Commandos 5-man, but you know, they make up for it by being German and looking cool. Also, tactical advance. That one is really good too. North here, battle line against the engineers here. Ballon grenade, killing several engineers, leaving just 1 man alive, and I'm rushing the Stormtroopers towards the west here to catch the engineers on the retreat. Closing in on that T7 here, but again, the constant fuel harassment here, the hitting the carve points, all the fuel points, is significantly complicating here Loovus' ability to rush out the light tank. So normally, 7-minute mark is where they have a light tank out. We're heading into the 8-minute mark, and he's nowhere near close. Again, it's definitely your more aggressive kind of, you know, tactics and strategy being utilized here by me. But it's definitely having an impact on Loovus. Backhead troop reinforcing, gonna be definitely a bit bled out. And at this point, I'm actually thinking, you know what? I'm just gonna go straight for the Supremo Corps. Without Panzer Strikes even. Of course, I'm keeping the missions open, just in case. Multi-ground medical supplies up here. But I'm definitely thinking, you know what? It's gonna be great. Rushing out a Stug. And there you go, tactical advantage, again, you see there. Really ripping through the infantry. Note, it gives a 50% accuracy bonus, meaning those MP40s really rip stuff apart. But they also move slow, as you notice, and they also take more damage. So it's definitely an ability where you don't just pop it willy-nilly, or you're going to get punished. But well-utilized usage of that ability can prove very critical. Massive push towards the south here. Is going to threaten my fuel point there, as expecting. Tech on the way from me. So again, I am going very risky here. Very risky. Again, I'm keeping the munitions open for the Panzer Strikes just in case, but really, what I'm doing here, I would not recommend unless, like, you know, you're feeling very ballsy, very confident, very Deutschland. So right now, Loovus is definitely on the receiving end of the Wehrmacht, but that said, once he gets that T-70 out, even if I'm rushing out a Stug, he's going to have a moment where I'm going to be in a lot of trouble because I then don't have any way of stopping that T-70, and the T-70 in the right hands is also very powerful. In fact, more powerful than the Stormtroopers in a lot of cases. Well, perhaps not in some regards. But anyways, you get the idea. It's going to be a real problem for me. And I'm kind of willingly rushing into it here. Again, I would not recommend this. I'm definitely breaking some rules there, but again, I'm largely riding on the sheer amount of harassment I get going early game than the amount of resource delays I'm inflicted here. I mean, again, he's getting out a T-70 at the 10-minute mark. Normally, it's close to the 7-minute mark, so again, it's kind of working out for me, but honestly, if I wasn't, having this kind of strong early game, I really wouldn't be doing this. There's definitely a part of, me feeling pretty confident about the current situation, but even then the T-70 can quickly swing things around there. That is the sheer power of the T-70. It can really swing a game around there, just based on itself there. So, anyways, support mark up there, that will be a Stug rush. You've got the T rushing forwards here. I got the support mark up here. I'm not even equipping Panzerschrecks. I'm just going, you know what? I can do this. I can do this. I can hold out for the Stug. I don't need Panzerschrecks. So we'll have to see, of course, how badly this goes for me. There you go, roughing it off. Almost wipes the contact support there. Close call, but I'm forced away here. Field gun there for Loovus. Obviously, he's getting the sense that something bad is coming his way. He wants anti-tank weapons. He's under delusions that, I'm going to be coming after him. And it's not for tea and biscuits. Punch the Grenadiers then gain the Guardsmen, ripping into the Sturmgewehrs, grenade off here, Grenadiers moving forwards. Nasty hits here, Guardsmen going to retreat. Stormtroopers on the retreat path here, by the way, but going straight for the fuel point here. Grabbing these 10 points again. Loovus, of course, knows he has to strike hard at me to have a chance here, so he's going in very hard as well. And there you go, moving in here. And there you go, popping tactical advance. Another great reason to use Stormtroopers, when you pop tactical advance like this, you really have a good chance of wiping retreating units if they get caught in a bad spot here, so. Another reason I like Stormtroopers. I really like them. They're easily one of my favorite units. But there you go, round about the T-70. Up north here, Pawnee catching the conscripts there. East of the conscripts pinned down by the before 2 Grenadiers moving in, but the fuel point has been hit. The support McCaw's up. I could go for the Panther 4, but in this case, I kind of want the Stug. Not just because I like the Stug, but also because the Stug is more mobile, has a faster rate of fire plus good range, so I feel like I have a better chance just knocking out that T-70 fast with the Stug than with the Panzer 4 plus and get out the Stug fast. And again, I haven't gone for anything else. Again, while I could theoretically opt for the Panther 4, my rule of thumb is, if I don't have any anti-tank weapons and I'm rushing tier 3 out, always go Stug first. Always go Stug first. Not just because I like, but because, again, the Stug can just get out faster and it can hit fast against any armor that might be threatening you. So, there's a bit of logic to it as well there. There's a bit of logic to it. But now, Loovus, of course, putting more threat in front, but the loss of the guard squad there definitely supplying some pressure to him. Going for another guard squad there. Stormtroopers are far with 10 kills already, halfway to Vetchny 2. South here we got the Controls of the Grenadiers. Sturmgeschützlasvengie almost done. Almost done. For the 23rd Panzer Division. There you go, Stug 3D ready. Die Sturmgeschütz ist gefechtsbereit. Smoke deployed up north here to hide from the T-70. South, Loovus is more keeping up the pressure on the fuel point. He's trying to keep my eyes around here. Got the machine gun here for now, just sort of stuck there. Got so much else to manage now. I am not too concerned about that. Obviously, I should probably get it healed up and get moving again. We also get veteran squadrons up from my Grenadiers now, increasing their prowess against the Marxists. As for Loovus, we'll have to see what happens next. Panzer Grenadier pushing forward there for Deutschland. Catching the comps there, and there you go. Machine catching there in a bit of a crossfire. Stug rushing in here from another angle. Going to go for that T-70. But there you go. Field gun on the flank here. And that Stug is quickly sent packing, but the T-70 is also now forced to be a lot more careful. Vetchny 2 Panzers catching the conscripts there. North of Stormtroopers are sort of just forgotten there. Stug heavily damaged, forced back. We'll need to repair that. And the Panzer Grenadiers will also need to get out of there. So Loovus is definitely starting to put up more effect now. The game is slowly turning. Again, that element where the search just, as the game goes on, they just tend to become stronger. They were initially designed as the early game faction, but I feel like a lot of the balance decisions that have been made increasingly sort of just pushed them in the complete opposite direction while still having them with a fairly decent early game. Meanwhile, the Wehrmacht just, the ostensible late game faction, yeah. You're really forced to play early game and aggressively, in my experience. And again, you try to play the late game, you're usually going to get pounced. There you go, more veteran Grenadiers out, the Stug being fixed. Panzer Grenadiers, Stormtroopers need reinforcement there. The Stormtroopers veterans one boy can heal themselves automatically. Very handy, and of course the veteran Grenadiers can heal themselves for free, or anyone else. Last non-veteran engagement on the left flank here. Cut-off point hit. Loovus, of course, looking to mess with my economy. Very sensibly. Stug being fixed up. This is a Pioneer. Should definitely consider upgrading with the veteran squadron themselves. That assists with repairs. Back here for Loovus. Conscripts at the ready. Veteran going to be sitting out there. Machine gun remains well dug in there. Stug almost fixed. Go Sturmgeschütz 3 Ausführung G. Field gun holding up here for Loovus. Probably going to go for another field gun here, I think. Or some other support weapons. He could also go for another guard squad, honestly. That could also give me problems. It would also match my 5 squads with the 5 squads of his own. A guard squad in large numbers can definitely also be a big problem to deal with for the Wehrmacht. Stormtroopers forwards. Stug rolling ahead. There you go. Guard and Corp. The veteran need 2 Stormtroopers. Immediately dropping Petrov and Yevgeny. 17 kills there. South they're still being forced with the Grenadier. Grenadiers, they could do some reinforcement, and of course the veteran squad upgrade, which I'm quick to equip there now. Panther Storms in the center. They're still being caught by the field gun. Thiessen flanking in here. Good push here by Loovus against me. Storms with the Panther charging the conscript. Thiessen firing into the flank there. Stug fires back, misses the T-70, but the field gun is exposed here. I could be tempted to rush out with the Panthers with the Storms. There go. Thiessen moves in to prevent exactly that from happening. Force retreat here on my forces. Counter rush in the center, pursuing the Stug here, hoping to maybe damage the engine. In the south, we've got 2 Grenadier squads that could make a move there. Back here, Grenadier setting out. Almost got that veteran squad to upgrade and go for an Osman and go for a Panther 4 now. Either of those would be good options for slightly varying reasons. Charging right here at it, and there you go, popping assault and hold, which increases accuracy, but also received accuracy. Straight at the conscripts. Of course, are now exposed in the face of these veteran grenadiers. Thiessen keeps snagging away there. Stug in your repairs. Osman on the way. Bring up the Panther Grenadiers. Intended to upgrade them with the support package with allowance to repair stuff. Though, of course, I realised my pioneers are way all the back of the base. For some reason, I actually thought they were up there as well, so obviously it was a bit mentally busy there. Osman, 1/3 of the way down the Thiessen moving about here. 12 kills of Etienne 2. North Grenadiers almost got northern point. It also, by the way, gives them an ability to grab points faster. Well, he's increased their capture speed briefly as well, so really good ability, but also really overlooked, I find, surprisingly enough. So there you go. Panther Grenadiers almost done. But the upgrades can prepare the Stug. Pioneers almost back at base as well. Mechanized on my company up here. Loovus not slowing down. He knows he's going to need tanks to face off against Deutschland. Guardsmen charging the veteran grenadiers here. Ace level. Not the best idea to charge into them. The Sturmgewehr can still do a fair amount of damage. Almost got themselves right with their own grenade. Storms were charging the country in the south here. 20 kills near veteran fleet. Thiessen ramming here. Osman moving out there for Deutschland. 21 kills. Very close to Aisler. And there you go. Aisler achieved. And the conscripts just frantically retreat in the face of these stormtroopers. Black Panther Fleet sitting out here in the center there. Got nothing going on there for now. Stug being fixed up, and the Panther and the Pioneers had to work there. And these reinforcing and healing. And there you go, T-34 6 for Loovus. He knows he needs armor. He can't afford to wait for the T-35. The amount of pressure, I mean, you know, putting on him does not allow this to really happen for Loovus. Stug almost done. Storms out in the south here for now. Getting a bit of healing done as well there, due to their field medkit ability. Osman bombarding the conscript, but there you go. Field on the flank here. It's going to force the Black Panther back, but there you go. Grenadiers on the other side here. Could fend the white pin Loovus conscripts if it doesn't retreat in time here. In fact, it might already be too late here. One reason I like veteran grenadiers is, unlike the light machine gun grenadiers, they do have a fair amount of DPS on the move, increasing the chance of getting a white there. So there you go, that's another white pin Loovus, though of course the T-34 6 which is about to hit me is definitely going to have some impact there. Stug rushing in there. Slightly awkward pathing there, honestly. Thiessen with the damaged engine. Black Panther with the guardsman. Cut-off point hit as well here, just a full-on charge. Engineers caught by the Stormtroopers by the eastern victory point, and Loovus is just so caught up in everything that's going on there, he doesn't even realise it, so he's got no engineers now. They got wiped by the Stormtroopers. I love Stormtroopers. Have I said I love Stormtroopers before? Anyways, Field gun shoot the Stuke, pushing it back here. Just a frantic scramble here. As I chaotically just throw everything back and forth here. Trying to inflict as much damage here on Loovus as possible. He's going for Montanese. I'm going for another Stuke. Veteran Grenadiers are routed. An absolute bloody melee here. Black Panther Stuke, they're holding up the center there. Probably should be pulling them back further. But part of me thinks I can maybe establish a small holdout here for now. While I again hit the carve point and again mess with Loovus' fuel economy. Overall part of my plan is just ensuring that I am the one with, like, you know, the optimal number of armored pieces here against my opponent. Panther Pioneers back at work here, fixing up the armor. Again, the Panther don't have the best repair abilities. It's rudimentary, so it's not quite as good as the Pioneers. But, you know, working with Pioneers, it's kind of handy-dandy. Kind of handy-dandy. T-Sunny fixed up here. Guardsman on the east side. He could definitely do with some more Guardsmen or some more infantry in general. Additional Guardsmen would, I think, be more tough for me to tackle here. Heavy Mortar could also be an addition for Loovus to consider. Better Grenadiers with the conscripts. Mortar off there, burning through them rapidly. And there we go. More Guardsmen up for Loovus. Thumbs up. Should, of course, add the double DP light machine gun upgrade. Third Stug out. Thus, I got a nice armored cohort here ready to assist my hardened assault troops. My ace storms was also back in action there. Fully reinforced combination of the Ostman. Panther's nearby as well. Field gun shoots but misses. Heathead moving up towards the center here. Panther's going to be being pushed back. Punched heavily here by Soviet armor. Stuke's going to try and flank here from the other side here. Going to try and think sandwich it between my two Stukes here. Doesn't quite work out there. I think Guardsman caught with aiming for Tunis, which I've kind of forgotten about the machine gun there, honestly. Better mistake there. Stuke misses the T-Fed Force from 6. Guardsman routed here in the face of the MD-42. Stuke rolling in here. Engineers in the center going for the center victory point here. Other Stuke now catching the T-Fed Force from 6. And now it is caught between the two Sturmgeschütze. Almost got it here. There you go. T-Fed Force from 6 down. The double Stuke proves its power. Again, high rate of fire. High range. Good mobility. Which is why I prefer double Stugs. It just means you have a good chance of quickly finishing off any armor. That way, again, ensuring, in particular versus Soaks, they don't just hit into that, shall say, late game death ball where they always just crash you because you're just not going to hurt them otherwise. He's sending north at sea, close to the east level. Gunners going from northern victory point here. Armor, of course, they need repairs. So approaching south here from Loovus. Conscripts guard water center. Bit quiet here. Not the same map control from Loovus, but victory points wise, he's definitely having some issues here. I'm certainly got a fairly healthy lead so far. Another T-34 from 6, more smoke. Sorry about that, jerking a bit around here for some reason with the mouse. Let's use it to scroll around here, pan the camera. Stug almost fixed up. Again, Panzergrenadiers are hard at work. You know, I can't help but feel our title of Panzergrenadiers is being a bit misappropriated. Shut up, Otto, and fix the Stug. You'd be dead without it anyways. Of course, at this point, I could consider mortar, and I probably should consider mortar. Like as I always say, you know, maps like this are great for mortar. So the fact I'm not going for mortar is actually a, you know, significant misplay by me. Thumbs down. Of course, Loovus could also benefit from mortar himself, and would certainly put me in a lot more pressure. But all the way, you know, definitely me, big misplay. In particular, since I'm the guy that keeps talking about it, I definitely should be going for a mortar here. You know, no excuses. Particularly this map, you really want a mortar, especially against such. There you go, pushing him with assault here. Fragmentation bomb in, Stug charging in. I'm just going full Deutschland. Conscripts will wipe there, just gets ripped apart there by the high explosives. Trying to catch that T-70 here. I am going really deep in, losing the Stug here. Definitely not a flawless assault here. I'm definitely making some mistakes. The pathing certainly isn't making the job easier either, though. Stug charging in here. Panthergrenadier Storm's going for the field gun here, the priority target here. Stug's been caught out of position here. He is completely outmaneuvering him now, even as I'm just hitting in very, very hard and violently. Panthers caught the retreating, but the Storms will keep the assault here. Stug gets knocked out. The T-34 from 6 make a knock by the Panther first here, but ultimately, I've lost all of my armor here. This was definitely not an assault I should have committed to. But part of me thought maybe I could catch him off guard and get the damage done. I didn't, so yeah. Definitely a bad maneuver there by me. A bad assault. Obviously, I still got some killing done. There's a sea of corpses that at least attest that this wasn't an entirely meaningless assault, but I lost all of my Stugs and my Osman didn't get the T-34-6 or the T-70. No matter how you twist and turn that, that's really, really bad. Of course, because I focus on Stugs and Osmans, I can still easily replace them. Instead of, say, going for a Panther, lost the Panther, obviously, I would have been just completely, you know, screwed over because you can't easily replace a Panther, but you can replace a Stug easily. That's another reason I prefer the Stug. You lose a Stug, it's like losing a T-34-6. You won't be particularly sad that you do know a few good Germans lost their lives, but, you know, you can quickly replace them, quickly, like, start building up again. Like, they just, like, you know, they are very cost efficient. Which is why I prefer the Stugs. You actually went for more conscripts here, which is an interesting choice. They're considering, like, you know, everything else I got there, and it just ends up as a complete disaster. As they just get wiped. They've got 40 kills in the Stormtroopers, by the way. I tried to grab the field gun here, but unsurprisingly, the assaults are not pretty here, and my men are just getting ripped apart with the T-34-6 and the T-70, which are currently probably the only thing that's propping up Loovus' entire force right now. Because otherwise, my infantry would absolutely wipe the floor with his. See the conscripts. But there goes Stug around here. Panther squad almost wiped out. Done his round from the flank here. Panther fast off. Could take out its HT-70. Finally, there go. Pop goes the Weasel. Just absolute carnage. Absolute violence. Stug there being forced back here. Destroying the field gun. Denying it to Loovus, who will absolutely need more armor. Now the field gun obviously as well here. T-34-6 is crucially still alive. As long as you can get out a bunch of T-34-6 of the surge, you're typically in a, you know, reasonable spot because they pack a lot of firepower. They are very, very cost-efficient medium tanks in the game. They cost only slightly more than the Stug, but has roughly the same rate of fire. Sure, not the same penetration or range, but, you know, they compensate for that with being amazing versus infantry. And having turrets. And getting some insane veterans bonus that further pushes up the damage significantly. Venezia being ripped apart by the guards from the treaty could be my first infantry wipe here. Which probably should have happened sooner, to be honest, but I got fairly lucky there. But no, perhaps fortune smiles upon me there.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Troop reinforcing healing there in the south here. Field gun getting ready there for Loovus and the Red Army. Veteran can use with the conscripts there. Another T-34-6 for Loovus. Got the Storms moving forwards. T-34 blasting where my Grenadiers. Big 2 points wise. The gap has also been closed here. Stug rolling after it. Scoring a kill there with his pinmount machine gun. Actually didn't. That was the vehicle kill. Alright. Somebody thought that was a kill there from the Stug's machine gun give out. But it wasn't. Veteran Grenadiers are reinforcing. Going to go for more Stugs to help deal with the lightly unsurging target of T-34-6s. Partly because I know if I was the third player in that position, I'd just start training them out. Like I'm, you know, taking bribes for making T-34-6s. Stug keep pursuing the Panzer, of course, going for the field gun. The main priority is the field gun, as there's an absolutely insane source of anti-tank damage. Of course, stops his artillery, so easily the biggest threat to my Stugs. In the far southeastern, machine gun flanked by the guardsmen. Good push there by Loovus. Finally got me off guard. And again, I really should have healed that and reinforced it sooner. Big mistake there by me, honestly. Big mistake. Definitely an efficient play there. Stug being hauled back. Loovus there also very smartly outplaying me on the right flank as I focus on the west side here. Got the Ace Storms with the 42 kills going up there. More conscripts there for Loovus. I'm kind of surprised he keeps going for more conscripts, honestly. Like, you'd figure at this point he'd just start churning out the guardsmen. Meanwhile, second Stug for me. And it's not like he needs the munitions for anything else. Again, like just guards from more DP light machines, I think would go far away here for Loovus. Plus grenades, gonna need to take some hits from the guardsmen. North hit T-Fed for catching my veteran grenadiers, quickly falls on the way there from the glory of the Red Army. Veteran grenadiers moving forwards. Stug 3D there, early model bar where they're getting ready. You can tell the difference simply from an early and a model Stug G and late model Stug G is of the gun mantlet. This one is much more square and rectangular, whereas the later models was much more rounded. It's colloquially known as the Saukopf, but that was apparently not the actual name the Germans gave to that. Saukopf, I mean, you know, pig's head or sow's head. It's a little fun fact there. Also, later model Stug Gs would typically also have a remote control machine gun. That's something to see on the headset there, what was known as Rundumsfeuer or all-around fire. So those were some of the changes there. Things Stug ready. Loovus getting ready for another assault head-on. Guards in time from the south here, veteran grenadiers and panzer grenadiers moving up here to help deal with that threat. Stug been caught by the field gun here. Up north, T-Fed 4 could threat my northern flanker actually, but so far Loovus seems most intent just grabbing through the center here, which I am more than happy to resist. Almost got the vibe here in the guards from the south here. Second guard squad there forming up a line there that's going to force my panzer grenadiers to retreat rapidly. T-Fed for catching the panzer grenadier, machine ripping through the engineers here. Up north, Stormtroopers caught with the T-Fed force from 6. And trying to crash them here. 45 kills on the Stormtroopers. Stug going here for it. Sensing a chance for a kill. I charge ahead. There we go. Almost got his 22 T-Fed force from 6 here. But suffers a wipe here. Veteran grenadier squad finally perished. But the T-Fed force from 6 is down. And that field gun crew is about to have an incredibly bad day as these hardened madmen go for it. 47 kills. 48. But there you go. The T-Fed force from 6 saves the field gun crew's bacon and gives them like another moment to live. The moment which Stugs I need to repair. It's got 5-man pioneers now, and of course the East Panzer Grenadier to repair. Definitely suffering that infantry wipe. Hurts a bit. North here, Contact is busy there. Southern Victor Point being claimed as well there. That's going to do something among lost. Grenade quickly through the window. Quick to dodge. Fixing up the Stugs. Storms with the reinforcing and of course healing automatically. Southeast coming up here for Loovus. It is quite in the center. He's probably concerned I might be having something waiting in the center, which I didn't before, but I do now. Stugs rolling out. Other one getting ready. Machine gun there supporting guns move up to the center. Stug needs to support as well. Other Stug I think will take a more northbound path. I don't want to get too focused on center again, as I keep suggesting, like, don't just get caught up in a tug of war. If I don't suggest that, by the way, I should do that more often, but rather again I'm looking to cover more fields of fire and also be able to catch my opponent from a larger flank. Panther on the way there for me. To assist with more aggressive action. Stormtroopers charging in there. 48, 49 kills. 50, 51, 52, 53. I mean, they've definitely earned themselves an Iron Cross first class now. T-Fed force from 6 ready here for Loovus and the Red Army. Still no heavy mortar from him, and still no mortar from me. Something caught with infantry in the center. Field and flying away there, direct hit on the MG-42. Definitely not a fan of the field gun, which is why I always prioritize it as a big target, because it is. It just does so many things while also being really tough to deal with, so my priority against the Sots and doing an attack is deal with the armor, deal with the field guns. It's typically what you notice some Bama players or Bookworms players don't do during an assault. They ignore the field guns and they typically get punished. But not me. I never underestimate the field gun. Quick smoke grenade from the Panthersons, again the support package besides repairs. Also gives some access to smoke grenades. It's quite handy. Going in the Panther to assist against the southern T-34 from 6. Other Stug remains also up north here. Using the smoke here to get close to the guards. And Stug Panther forming in here. Also using the smoke here to obscure the assault of my armor. That way, it's a bit of a double whammy there in a sense. Then want to get out the efficiency-wise from it. Gonna use there, go another assault and hold here. The Ace Stormtroopers close range as the guardsmen. Doesn't matter how many orders of Lenin they have against Ace Stormtroopers with assault and hold behind them. They're toast. Gunnery's about to get wiped out here. Stuke number 2 up north not attacking. That's a bit of a mistake of me. Stormtroopers wiped the field crew there. 60 kills. I think that is... Before this match, I don't think I've had a Stormtrooper squad with that many kills. Still forgotten the Northern Stuke here, but I'm just charging through here, Loovus. Like a hot knife through butter. And Loovus, of course, is just, I think, frantically trying to deal with the sheer aggression on display here. Because I'm probably not playing like the average Wehrmacht player, as you might have noticed by now. T-34 from 6 down. Once more, Loovus finds himself without armor, and I find myself this time with all of my armor intact. It's great. Field gun there, quick recruit though. Loovus knows what it's all about. It's keeping those field guns alive. In fact, I'm surprised he didn't go for a second one. It's one of those odder ones that, like, you know, going for more conscripts when he probably just bit off going for more guardsmen. And there you go, bit of a slip here due to pathing. Could cost me the Panther 4, and there you go, pop goes the Weasel. So Loovus doesn't go away entirely empty-handed from this fight. Rendering the fuel point neutral again. Even at this stage, it's still probably very smart of me to just ensure that Loovus can't easily churn out lots of tanks. And that way ensure I maintain the advantage. Probably should replace some of my infant losses. We've got 24 kills on the Panthers, but the Stormtroopers, as you again might notice, are doing all the work. 61 kills, 62! Really, just absolutely amazing infantry. One of the few things I'll miss in Kampf's 3 will be the Stormtroopers. And sure, the Wehrmacht will have the Stasstruppen, sort of like more like Obersoldaten, but still, I think, better with a bit more of an assault element to them. But, you know, I'll miss them. Oh my, guys. Anyways, another 250 half-tech years. Again, I feel like, you know, I still need to keep up the offensive momentum. And so I want to go for half-tech stuff with the Stormtroopers. Again, you know, my guys with a lot of kills. And really try and hit Loovus in. You need to try and force them out of the game here. Also, as you might notice, this is perhaps less obvious, but I've tried to shift the fighting away from the center more towards the western fields of the map here, because the western fields kind of favor me more than the center, which is like, you know, easy for my armor and all that to get fouled up on. Whereas the western fields, there's still a bit of fouling up, but there's still also more room for me to attack in and defend from. So this is a bit of a, shall I say, more slick maneuvering here from me on a tactical level here, which you typically don't see, I think, much discussed. But, you know, again, most players just focus on the center, raw, hard, and that's it. But again, I've sort of tried to shift it towards, again, the western field. Stuke also blast with infantry, but there you go, flanked by the field guns. Bit of a mistake there, obviously. Infantry screen gone, could cost me Stuke here. That'll, of course, be great here for Loovus. Less great for me. He's got a T-35 now. Bit tougher in terms of more health. Roughly same DPS. Just can't get as many out easily, but again, they do so a bit better versus Stugs, so don't fault them for going for them here. They're, of course, quite good as well. One of the main draw points of Guard Motor is the T-45. Field gun, they're about to get absolutely hosed up with the M42. That'd be a great kill here for Loovus and get rid of it. And also, of course, a great punish of me feeling the machine gun out there in the open like a complete putz. Of course, again, exploring the south here. And one thing I also try to pay attention to is, like, where's my opponent paying attention? How is he pursuing the battlefield? And then I try to explore that, like for some sting up here for the south. Stuke getting me soon. There goes Storm rushing forwards. Again, I'm feeling pretty confident here. Obviously, I actually really shouldn't be, but I'm feeling confident. As you might notice a lot, when I feel confident, things tend to go slightly sideways. Because a lot of the time when I'm confident, I probably shouldn't be. Half-deck knocked out here, but I did get the T-35. And my Stormtroopers just go up to 65 kills. The Stukes, though, survived this somehow, and the Guardsmen, in fact, may not, as a pop tactical advance here, but there you go. Sheer amount of sodium for the supporting there. It forces my Stormtroopers away there. Somehow I nearly avoid losing my, you know, ace. You know, Knights Cross holders there at this point. I mean, they're less Stormtroopers, just, you know, Ritterkreuzträger from Companies 1. And even then, I don't think they were ever as good as these guys, because they were 3 men, and they're just more like, you know, just high survivability, not so much DPS. Another field gun there for Loovus. He's fighting still desperately, and I'm certainly taking some more losses, and I'm replacing them with more Stormtroopers, thinking, you know what? What if I go for a second Stormtrooper squad? And I probably should have thought about that sooner. Machine the recruit here by Loovus. Good work. Going with another fragmentation bomb, hoping to clear that before they run away with it. Sadly, doesn't work out. Also could have called in from a better angle. Instead, I just knock out a shed. Do not very mind Führer, that shed contained a lot of commissars, and I'm sure also Starling's nephew. Well, that's good then. Yeah, totally. Not a wasted fragmentation bomb at all. What did you say? Nothing, mein Führer, nothing. Stugs being hauled back for repairs. 5 kills on that one, 2 infantry, 3 armor, and 3 infantry, 1 armor. Again, it's not something you think a lot about, but the Stugs with the thin light machine guns kind of perform decently versus infantry because they're basically like grenadier light machine guns, just at half price on a Stug. It's like you get a pair of Stugs that you can activate with powered infantry quite well. Decently. There we go, 91 to 314. The fight is still going on pretty aggressive. My infantry's being pushed to the limits. Loovus infantry is also being pushed to its limits. And his armor is being pushed into the grave. Grand Eastern victory point here. Up north here, Veteran is being forced there for Deutschland. 25 kills. Stugs being fixed up. Large emphasis in the southeast. Right to the East Panzer Grenadier, 27 kills. Grenade off. Also at this point I would like to note to actually make full use of the commander here. Half-tracks, veteran squad leaders, stormtroopers, assault and hold, and fragmentation bomb. So I can give myself a thumbs up on that one at least. Storms over 66 kill though, Panzers there gaining 32. Didn't use the mark target ability, which is also quite handy at times, but still got a lot of damage in there. And again, constant fuel control. Very important. Another Austrian for me. Another Flak Panzer. He's fighting to the retreating Grenadiers. Fresh Flak Panzer. Sturmgeschütze setting out. T-34 from 6 for Loovus. And the Red Army. He's been caught up with the Stugs. There we go. Immediately blast 2 men apart there. Part of the Sturmgeschütz. Now the T-34 are halfway done for Loovus and the Red Army in the South Storms are catching the Contra C. Not quite making the impact the other guys have done so far. Obviously, they got a bit more work to get done there. Smoke deployed there to keep them a bit safer. Up north, Stugs in reserve here. And we got the Ritterkreuzträger there for all intent and purposes. We got the center here. Quick smoke grenade being deployed there. Flak Panzer rushing in here. Having to catch here Loovus off guard. Instead, I've run straight into a field gun. Flak Panzer still gets away though. Quick pop of 100 grenade there. Up north, Stugs moving towards the center. T-34 ready for Loovus. 50 points left here. Storms of the Contra C. 66 kills. 67. Counter machine against the advancing pioneers here. Flak Panzer to the Contra in the east. Panzers again ace level moving forwards here. 33 kills. Few near there being pushed off. Southeast Guardsman moving in here from the side, catching this Guardsman off guard. Ha ha ha. And go T-34 some to the rescue though. Truck reinforcing healing. Grab the western victory point. Black Panther in repairs, Storms reinforcing healing. Well, mostly reinforcing at this point. Stuart there halfway to the ace level. Loovus quickly moving up to secure a lot of terrain here. Seizing victory points for the glory of the Red Army. Digging in, ready to receive the next German assault. And as always, the key is the Wehrmacht at these stages, of course, is to try and just break this assault or defense apart as efficiently and as violently as possible. Like, if they get the certain and chance where they can just grind you down, they will do so, and they'll do so very efficiently. So it's all about you just break through assaults, hard violence, and just trying to disrupt the ability to coordinate effectively against your attack. If you can do that, you typically have a good chance. But, you know, I typically find a lot of German players typically tend to go for the more, you know, tug-of-war approach, which half the time at least typically tends to like result in some losses for them. There you go. Rushing in with the Stugs against the T-34 from 6. He's got the field gun ready here, but there's 2 Stugs pursuing it quite aggressively. Again, you can see there, quickly on help. Other Stug getting with T2 here. At this point, oh, abandoned. I'm just going to charge right past the field gun, have the supporting infantry clear out of the armor here, or the field gun here. Gushing forward. Just almost crashing an entire concert squad there. Gonna lose a Stuke here, tragically. And that's the near ace one as well. That crew's lost for the Wehrmacht. Going straight to the machine with the Ostwind. And now we got the Stormtroopers filling up here. In the wake of the Stuke charge. Popping Assault and Hold here again for just increased lethality here. 68 kills. 69. Nice. And 70 kills. Loovus is just being completely demolished at this point. 20 points left for him. 70 kills on the Stormtroopers. 70. That is easily like the highest kill count I've ever gotten in a Stormtrooper squad, I think. Grab the victory points rapidly as well here. Just want to close out the fights as soon as possible. Again, as always, your goal against the soldiers is just to win the fight fast. No matter what, you'd even like the match drags out, your next goal should be how to close this fight out as efficiently as fast as possible without being reckless. Of course, I'm kind of reckless, so, you know, it's not flawless what I'm doing, and I'm obviously not going to be a complete, perfect replication of what I actually imagine how you beat the Soviets, but, you know, it should give you an idea. And there goes 71 kills in the Stormtroopers. The other guys have got, like, none. Northern part of the Panther is storms to the routed. We got 12 left.
Enemy can taste defeat.
Troops being repaired, not lost one for me. So at this point, I'm mostly worried about infantry from Loovus. And I'm just moving in infantry towards every point to just hold them off here from Loovus. So you can't just, you know, rush in and maybe extend the match a bit further. 2 points left, and GG, game over. Brutal fight here. Probably expend a fair bit there by some mistakes I made there. Particular times there's some definitely assaults I shouldn't have committed to. And a mortar with some smoke, but also assisted my tactics quite well. But at the same time, did want to cast this because, you know, 71 kills in the Stormtroopers squad, I feel that is an incredibly good highlight of what Stormtroopers can do, you know, when applied aggressively enough, in particular combined with Assault and Hope, which again I contend is a really, really good ability. Also the Power Stooks. And again, just, you know, my perspective on how you deal with the soldiers, you know, not just trying to like slug it out and hope for Tiger or Panther to somehow beat them. No, you bring in as much firepower as you can and just hit them as hard as possible. We'll make it hard for them as possible to defend against you, which will involve a lot of speed. So I hope you enjoyed this match or learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell friends, tell family, but don't show enemies. This is ImperialDane signing off, and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye.